This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Fisher in the 17 Newsroom, and Governor Gavin Newsom is streaming a live news conference once again this afternoon, giving us an update on the state's response to the coronavirus pandemic. And again, he is supposed to be giving us an update in just a few moments, so we are monitoring that, and we will give you his news conference in just a few moments. But of course, we do have other news to get to this afternoon, and that other news, of course, is just about 2 hours ago, we received Public Health announced new cases in Kern County. The total now stands at 142 positive tests. At least 7 of these cases led to people being hospitalized, and more than 2,200 people have tested negative, and more than 1,400 people are waiting to get their results. Now, public health officials have not said if anyone has recovered. And now that the number of cases has surpassed 100, Public Health has released more information, more specific data about the patients who tested positive. Non-essential businesses that still have their doors open could be in trouble with the law. Public Health announced earlier today it is cracking down on businesses not following stay-at-home orders. If they refuse to close, owners could face jail time or fines or both.
At this time, what we are looking at is any businesses that are not following the governor's guidance on what is considered essential and non-essential activities. We have deployed a team of environmental health specialists out into the field to speak with businesses that we have received complaints about that are operating in a way that doesn't appear safe for our community and does not seem to be adhering to the guidelines put forth by the governor. So we are going to go out, speak again with these businesses we have received complaints on, and we are really going to work to ensure the protection of our community of any businesses that are conducting themselves in a way that they should not be at this time. So that's something we take very seriously, and we will be moving forward to take whatever actions are needed.
So again, this only applies to non-essential businesses that are still open and non-essential businesses that the Public Health Department has received complaints for. Again, this does not apply to everyone, just those non-essential business owners that have not complied with the governor's order. All right, let's now turn things over to Governor Newsom, who is holding a news conference giving us an update on the state's response to the coronavirus. Let's listen in.
Every quarter we fill out forms, small business men and women, and I'm a former small business man, so I know a thing or two about this, and we send that money to the state. What we are calling for today is a one-year reprieve for small businesses where no fines, no penalties will be attached, where they can take upwards of $50,000 as a loan and not have to pay the state those sales tax receipts for 12 months. In essence, it is a bridge loan. The money that you've already collected, you will not have to pay the state for 12 months. No penalties, no interest, de facto a loan. I had previously signed an executive order extending for a number of months through July 31st, the need to even file your sales tax. This extends beyond that as a reprieve so that upwards of $50,000 can be used as a bridge loan over the course of the next 12 months. And I call it a bridge loan in this context because we need to be able to get the federal dollars into the state of California, which means we need to get people to apply for these federal supports that were recently announced, both in the previous stimulus and then the more recent stimulus that just passed, the $2.2 trillion. There are 2 programs in particular I want to highlight, and they're incredibly important for small businessmen and women to take advantage of. Number 1 was the disaster injury disaster account. It's the small business loan related to injury related to the economic consequences of COVID-19. You can get a $10,000 loan up front as your application is being processed. You're presumed eligible for the dollars in that loan account. That loan provides upwards of $2 million for small businesses, payback over a 30-year period, and interest rates of 3.75%, and for nonprofits in that category, 2.75%. We want to make sure people are taking advantage of that economic injury disaster loan program. We have information on our covid19.ca.gov website, covid19.ca.gov website that will link you to the SBA, link you to the services and supports so that you can take advantage of that program. The other even more significant program was just recently passed in the CARES Act. Again, that's the $2.2 trillion act. This provides businesses up to $10 million loans if you continue to pay your employees. You have to provide 75% of all of that loan benefit to your employees, to payroll. This can be done through your bank, through traditional institutions, not just through the SBA. This is the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP program, that is finally getting some attention. This is a profoundly significant program that has $349 billion of federal supports attached to it. This program starts tomorrow, and that's why it's incredibly important people start filling out the application, filling out the form to make sure that they are aware of their eligibility. And this is one of those things, a lot of people are going to be rushing to get the benefit of this program. Again, April 3rd is the first day to start drawing down those applications. So work with your bank, work with your lender, and if you commit to keeping your employees, even if you have no business, even if your business is closed, but you pay your employees, this is a grant program, not a loan program, where you are reimbursed for the costs. Again, the cap is $10 million, not insignificant. But there is a modest, well, modest is relative, but a 0.5% fee attached to it. Interest rates fixed at 0.5%. Above and beyond that, you have the capacity to substantially get all of that loan completely paid off by the federal government as a grant on the other side. This all may sound very complicated. In many respects, it is. We just want to make it easier for folks. And again, go to our website, that covid19.ca.gov website, and we've got a link right there, and we'll link all the information to folks so they can take advantage of these programs. The reality, though, is not everyone can take advantage of these programs. While the SBA has debt forgiveness programs and they have other programs that one can avail themselves to, not everybody has the capacity to get an SBA loan. And as a consequence of that, we're announcing today the state of California is putting $50 million into our iBank, our infrastructure bank, to create micro-lending opportunities for people that otherwise would not be eligible for SBA relief, the Paycheck Protection Act, and these other emergency injury disaster programs. So it's an additional contribution for the state to address those that may otherwise fall through the crack. So that's an overall sense of what we're trying to do to highlight those federal supports, advance some state relief through sales tax up to $50,000 for a year with no interest, no penalties, and then provide micro-lending opportunities through our iBank in the state of California. And we're encouraging businesses, large and small, again, up to hundreds and hundreds of employees that are eligible for the status of these benefits to do just that and get prepared, because tomorrow, again, on that Paycheck Protection Program, those applications will start being processed. And so let's get ahead of the queue, and let's make sure if you know someone is a small business person, make them aware of this. And if you are a small business person, let's make sure you get this paperwork done and get those applications in as quickly as possible. Something else we're announcing today, I'm very proud of. I met with a small group of people in Fresno, California, about a year ago, organization called Bitwise. Remarkable economic story in Fresno and in the Central Valley, one that's not often highlighted in the news. It's not just an agricultural community. It's a vibrant community with remarkable human capital, young people, people young at heart, doing incredible things, a good entrepreneurial spirit, and a technical expertise that is very present in the Central Valley. And Bitwise is the center of this. Bitwise has partnered with LinkedIn and Salesforce to create a new site called onwardca.org. onwardca.org. And that's about getting us back up on our feet. Not just small businesses, now people that have been laid off that need a job. Bitwise has already created a remarkable website to match open jobs to individuals and their particular skill set. They actually prompt 37 questions to specify where you are geographically, what your exact skill set is, what your wage preference may look like, and then they match you with open job listings throughout the state of California. Already 70,000 open jobs are now listed on their site. We'll probably have 100,000+ just in the next number of days. They've prioritized 4 areas that disproportionately now are hiring remarkably at this moment. Not surprisingly, though, healthcare being one of those 4 areas. Agriculture is looking for workforce. Logistics, broadly defined, be that transportation, warehousing, and the like. The logistics sector is in need of support. And, of course, grocers. 70,000+ open jobs today in the state of California. Go to the Bitwise news site, this onwardca.org site, and fill out those applications and see if we can match you with the job just down the road, and make sure we get you off unemployment insurance, or if you haven't gone on, make sure you don't have to go on, so that we can get you into the workforce at this time. So I want to again thank our partners in that process and putting together this aggregated job listing website.
All right, and again, you've just been listening to Governor Newsom give us an update on the latest efforts to not only combat the crisis here of the disease, the coronavirus disease, but also how it is impacting small businesses and the resources that small businesses can use to kind of stay afloat during this time. We will be monitoring this for you. But again, if you'd like to check it out, you can go to our Facebook page to watch it in its entirety. Well, this afternoon, we're also learning more about what some of these coronavirus cases in Kern County look like. Yesterday, we learned a member of the Brookdale Riverwalk senior living community tested positive for the virus. A spokesperson for the facility tells 17 News it is in contact with the member's family, other residents, and staff at Brookdale. The person who's infected is not being identified. Brookdale says it is monitoring residents and associates for signs and symptoms of COVID-19 and working with county health and following local and CDC guidelines to combat the disease. Meantime, a grocery chain confirms employees at 2 of its stores have tested positive for COVID-19. One of the positive employees works at the Albertsons on White Lane and Gosford Road in Bakersfield. That employee is now getting medical care, and Albertsons says they may ask other employees to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. The company says the infected person has not been to work since March 23rd. Meantime, Albertsons also confirmed yesterday an employee at the store on Panama Lane also tested for coronavirus and was positive. The associate has not been to work since March 23rd. A spokesperson says both Albertsons will remain open, adding staff members have been cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting the stores on a routine basis since then. A major farming company may also have an employee with the virus. We received a copy of a letter sent to workers at Grimway Farms informing them a Grimway employee had tested positive for COVID-19. We contacted Grimway for comment and were told the company could not comment due to HIPAA laws protecting the patient's health information. A Grimway spokesperson says the company has taken decisive action to reduce the potential exposure to COVID-19. We're back after the break.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevin Shred, and I have made my way here to Riverwalk Park. It is just beautiful out here today. As I've been here, everybody's been practicing social distancing pretty well. We've got some picnics going on, but with family units only. So again, officials say it's okay to head out to a park, just keep your distance, and people are doing that. I haven't seen any fish caught yet out of Riverwalk Park yet, but hey, they're trying. It is a beautiful start to the afternoon out here as well. We've got a temperature of 60 degrees in Bakersfield at this time. Just a light wind out of the west-northwest at 9. When I came out, I needed a jacket. It's almost very t-shirt-like now. Overnight, we were at 47 degrees and our normal high, 72 today. You can see temperatures in the valley running into the 60s and then 40s and 50s into the mountains. Still quite cool in Tehachapi at 48. And you can see on the satellite and radar, we are in the clear, looking around, not a cloud to be found here in the valley. And that's pretty much around the state. We're not looking at much as we go throughout the next few days here. We should remain clear. 57 in Sacramento, 69 in Fresno today. We're looking at mid to upper 60s down to the south. And then as we take a look at the Pacific view, we are going to be tracking a system out into the north and to the west. And that will start to arrive as we head into about late Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And you can see that on our Futurecast model here. By Sunday, 10 p.m., that rain will start to push on in, and it's going to linger around through the mid part of next week before we see it kind of exit the area, and we may even see some snow flurries into the mountains as we take a look at our snow forecast into the Tehachapi area and over near the Pine Mountain Club area. We could get a little bit of snow. I don't think it'll be a problem on our roadways, but it is something we're going to watch carefully as we get closer to that time frame. So your big headlines for today, plenty of sunshine through at least Saturday, so get in the backyard, do some of that work. I know we're all kind of having to stick closer to home nowadays, and we still have the windy conditions in the mountains through tomorrow. Now with that next storm, between 1/4 and 3/10 of an inch for the valley, between 1/4 and 1/2 for the mountains, and 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch into the desert. As we take a look at the allergy forecast for today, you can see it's pretty high, 9.8. And let's take a look at our overall forecast. And today we're going to be into the 60s, a southwest wind 5 to 10 for the mountains today. Lots of sunshine, still breezy, 50s and 60s. And then for the Kern Valley forecast, we're going to be looking at 60s to lower 70s. So overall, not a bad day around Kern County. So again, if you can get out and enjoy it, just remember that social distancing. We'll be right back right after the break.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. Well, in your 17 Business Watch, the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits nearly doubled last week. A total of more than 6.6 million people filed for unemployment last week. That's way worse than analysts expected, and it shatters last week's record 3.3 million claims. The record claims come as businesses across the country have had to close their doors after states have attempted to mitigate the coronavirus outbreak. Around 10 million people have filed for unemployment benefits in the last 2 weeks. Well, background checks for guns are on the rise. Gun background checks have spiked to record numbers in the past month amid concerns about safety during the coronavirus pandemic. According to FBI officials, 3.7 million background checks were done in March, the most background checks for a single month since the system began in 1998. In comparison, more than 2.5 million background checks were conducted in March of 2019. Well, across the nation, people are panic buying and stocking up during this pandemic. But there may be an even greater risk going to the store and bringing food into your home. Welcome back. Well, this morning on Sunrise, we were joined by Dave Halen, the Vice President of Communications for the California Grocers Association, to give us some tips on how to safely shop at stores and also sending us a reminder that when you are shopping, buy smart.
Very important that we remember to keep that 6-foot distance from other shoppers and employees as best as you can. To help consumers in doing that, many stores, if not all of them by now, have actually put markings on the floor near the checkout stands about 6 feet apart so that consumers know, and those serve as a reminder to keep their distance. We're also recommending, most grocery carts are about 3 feet long, so we're recommending a distance of about 2 shopping carts anytime you're in your aisles or anywhere near the check stands. In addition to that, we're encouraging shoppers while they're in the produce section to not really touch any of the produce, but to actually use the plastic bags that are available and to use the bag, put your hand in the bag, grab whatever the produce that you want, and then invert and pull the produce into the bag. And that way you're not actually touching it and you're not risking any contamination for anybody else. Those are just a couple of tips that we're suggesting.
Is it still recommended to use our reusable grocery bags?
For stores that still allow the consumers to bring in the reusable bags, we do recommend that you wash them regularly after every visit to the store, and then also disinfect them whenever possible. So whenever you do use them, we do highly recommend that.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.